In the 70th National Film Awards, Malayalam cinema won big and best with 6 accolades. Out of these, 3 are for the movie Aattam the Play, directed by Anand Ekashi. Aattam won Best Feature Film, Best Editing and Best Screenplay. And out of these, 2 National Film Awards were backed by Saudi Velakya CC 225/2009, directed by Tarun Murthy. And then we have the Best Child Artist Award for Sripath for the movie Malikapuram. And post-COVID, Malayalam movies are getting a lot of national attention despite being mostly non-commercial. How and why? And coming to the Malayalam movies that gained the Best Feature Film Award, Aattam, though it didn't grab the attention the way it expected, unfortunately, it gained only nifty reviews among the watchers. And what made the Malayalam movies to gain recognition nationally, even with its regional based contents? To discuss more of this in detail, we have Aswin Bharadwaj, popularly known as Lensman among the followers and fans, and Vishal Menon, the celebrated entertainment journalist. Welcome Aswin and Vishal to India Today SoSouth. It's such a pleasure to have you both with us.
Thank you, Meera.
Hi, Meera.
So, hope you both have seen the big win that the Malayalam movies got in the National Awards today. What's your thought, Vishal?
I think overall it's been a peaceful announcement compared to the last couple of years. I think apart from a couple of a couple of people who had some kind of reservations about certain awards, I think generally it seems more fair. It seems understandable that a movie like Aattam won so many awards, and I think overall pretty non-controversial compared to previous years.
So, you might have felt the same, or what you actually felt after watching this? All these 6 awards only for Malayalam. Actually,
Are you asking? Is this question to me?
yeah. So,
Yeah,
what's your
okay,
thought on
yeah.
the same? 6 awards.
Yeah, I mean,
Such a
I'm
big
really happy
news.
that Aattam got so many awards because somewhere it deserved the kind of recognition
Right.
on a box office level also.
Yes.
Unfortunately, the whole Malayalam movie thing that is happening right now on a pan-India level, Aattam didn't really get the chance to be in that juggernaut. So
Right.
right now, it getting all these recognition. I mean, I'm really happy for Aattam.
Never felt this such a big win will happen, and all of all these 6 awards, not just Aattam, but even for Saudi Velakya for that matter, all these 6 awards for that Sripa child artist, everything was
Yeah, yeah.
gives a lot of happiness after so much of chaos happening in the state. So that is
Yeah, yeah.
also there. And then coming, even Vishal, I think this right now Malayalam cinema is in its golden era, like a never seen before kind of time we are into. What's your thought on this? Because I feel like it's such a big news for us.
I think we're forgetting generally when we were discussing Malayalam cinema at the end of 2023. Generally, the consensus was that it was one of the worst years in the last decade or so. Ever since we talk about the new generation or the new wave in Malayalam cinema, you kind of feel like it kind of petered out in 2023, and it's with the first half of 2024 that you feel like, oh, everything is back and everything is worthy of being celebrated again. And I think it all started with Aattam, because I think it was one of the first movies that released this year. And apart from the fact that it's not just a Kerala phenomenon, you can understand from the way that the movie became so celebrated when it came on Amazon Prime. Not just the success that it got in theaters in Kerala, but then there was a second wave of people, non-Malayalis, who were super interested in Aattam when it released on OTT, and then the messages, the tweets that were all about a movie like Aattam. And what is so heartening about a movie like Aattam is that even if you don't care about the politics, or even if you are not really concerned or looking at it as an art movie, it's still a pretty good thriller. So that's what I think the magic has been with Malayalam movies. It has messaging, it has layers, it has great content. But beyond all that, I think it's managed to become entertaining to a wider group of people, and not just Malayalis.
Right, right, right. Uh, so the thing is, even to you, Ashwin, actually, because what I hear most commonly is, Malayalam, they say what the other non-Malayali audience says, Malayalam movies are considered as intellectual movies. Like, it's not like always, a movie for a no-brainer kind of thing, but still, it is widely accepted. What's your thought on this? Because have you ever felt the same? Because we never go for only commercial movies or movies that only get a big acceptance in outside Kerala as well. What have you
I
thought
think
about this concept, like intellectual movies kind of thing, Ashwin?
no, we are not deliberately making intellectual movies or something. I think there is an evolution happening within the industry, and or the way people react to certain films. So if that particular film is working in the box office, so eventually movie makers are also thinking that yeah, we can push the envelope. So there is confidence in the filmmakers to create something like a Brahmegam, which is completely black and white. It has, it has no conventional norms attached to it. It's a no other industry can confidently make such a film. So I think even our stars are looking for scripts that are like kind of weird or interesting in some ways, so that they are not doing the same role again and again. Nobody wants to be repeating themselves. They need challenging stuff. So I think that's the case with Malayalam industry.
Yeah. And again to Ashwin, how do you feel Malayalam cinema turned around, its limited market size and restrictive budgets and converted them into, creative advantages? Like, and also they keep making films that find newer audiences all the time. Even I think Vishal, you can answer.
But I don't totally agree with that because I think what we are sensing, of course, compared to Malayalam cinema from 10 years ago or 20 years ago, now there is a market outside. Now there's an audience. Now there are people who are really interested in Malayalam cinema, but it's a very cinephilic, very what do you call it, a limited crowd, and it feels like everybody's talking about Malayalam cinema because it's exactly the kind of echo chambers that we belong to, like as journalists and as like people who are on social media. We are only interacting with people who are like us, who seem to think this about Malayalam cinema. If you actually look at Tamil or Telugu, and you go to, there are these channels called gold mines and all that. Okay, basically they dub Tamil and Telugu movies into Hindi. The views those movies get, even flop Telugu movies, flop Tamil movies, get 100 million views, 150 million views consistently, which is not something. Even if you look at which is the biggest blockbuster, I think maybe in terms of a movie that traveled outside Kerala, the biggest hit I think in the last decade or so has to be Avesham. Even comparable to Bangalore Days and Premam and all that. But even Avesham, in terms of the number of people who would have seen it in the Indian heartland, I don't think it's much. The metros people would have seen it. I think there's a reasonably big audience in Delhi, Bombay, Calcutta, all that I agree. But it is nothing compared to the views even regular Telugu dubbed movies get in, UP and Bihar and Himachal Pradesh and Uttarakhand. So we're getting there. It's a good thing, but I don't think it's as big as we think it is. Also,
My point. So, what is actually happening to Malayalam movies at the same time? Because we are doing our max. Let's say Art Jividam, for instance. It made, I mean, the maximum voice that it can, right from, let's say, post COVID. Because I remember Prithviraj putting his transformation, or even Blessy giving updates then and there. Then even then coming to other states like outside Kerala, even after the release of Aattam, I remember people asking me like, how is it working there in Bangalore? because we feel like it's somewhere going like a very cold running. It's happening there in outside Kerala, but it does make noise, of course, among the other, because as it got released in other languages as well. But my concern is a movie, let's say like Gir or any other Malayalam very regional, very normal movies that are not much commercially promoted. I think there are people still think that okay, is it worth watching? But at the same time, if very below average kind of Tamil Telugu movie is coming to an OTT platform or even in big screens in Kerala, people still believe that okay, we'll watch it, we'll try. At least there are some actors that we love to watch, or maybe, but there is some kind of misunderstanding, I feel, among the audience in all these states. What do you feel, Ashwin, on that?
Actually, right now the state of theaters is really like really bizarre. Like the contrast is, it's not like how you said people here are willing to watch a relatively low buzz Tamil film. It's either if your movie has a good buzz, there will be a lot of people coming for it. If the word of mouth is great, it will grow exponentially. And if there is no buzz, it will be on the lower side. And if the reviews and word of mouth are really bad, the current scenario is like that. On the first Monday itself, the movie might be out of the theater. So it's a very contrasting scenario. Like you get either get a big hit or it's a super flop. That medium level hits we used to get before COVID, that's not happening right now. And a lot of filmmakers who are planning like, yeah, our movie will do an average box office, will do this much number in the OTT or satellite. The movies that are planned like that are actually getting bombed in the box office right now.
Same thing, because Malayalam films have always been known for its realistic cinema. Uh, let's say after COVID, again,
Hmm.
have you also felt the same, Ashwin? Because can we talk about the new wave of Malayalam filmmakers who are experimenting with contemporary themes and ideas of all stripes? Because who are the standouts for you, Ashwin?
I mean, the thing is, the pandemic really exposed our content to a lot of people. Like if you look at the national level YouTube reviewers and all, everyone is trying to explore the filmography of people like Fahad Fasil, Nivin Poli, or whoever, and there is a problem with that. They are not acknowledging the flop films we make. The way Malayalam movie film industry is projected in front of other people is like we make only great films every week. So that's really a problem. We have a share of flops and all. Even in this year, if you look at it, the Aattam is Aattam is an unfortunate example. Like it was a great film that didn't really work in the box office. And after Premalu, there was a lot of back-to-back hits. Yeah, there was a lot of back-to-back hits, and then we also faced a slump. After like say it was in May, I think. After May, from June onwards, there are no big hits in Malayalam as well. So if you look at
Last two
Malayalam
months
cinema,
was actually a test
yeah,
of time for the Malayalam industry as well, because soon after all booms, all success, because I remember
hmm.
people coming back and saying, now what's happening? Over.
That's the same thing. Like,
Agree with what Ashwin just said, because to some extent, I also felt like it's mainly because of the movie reviewers. Let's say like Ashwin, Kokos, all these Shazam, all these influencers slash reviewers we have in Kerala. Is it because of them that these kind of small movies are also working to some extent?
Is the question to me? No, I'm sure they're
What
doing a
actually,
part.
yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So of
so
course they
Ashwin
also
was telling
contribute.
about all the Malayalam movie reviewers we have there in Kerala. So do you also back to what he said? Because to some extent, do you also feel like all these? It's because of these Malayalam movie reviewers slash influencers who make the audience know about all these little small movies.
No, I think what Ashwin meant was the I mean the
The North
Malayali
Indian.
reviewers who the reviewers who take the movie outside the state. Uh,
There, but
yeah.
even the regional reviewers we have there in Kerala, because I have
I was
seen many
actually
people
talking about the
commenting
pan
below their
India.
reviews saying, it's because of you I have, yeah, Ashwin.
Yeah, I mean, I was mentioning about the reviewers and all from North India and all, who are like exploring the filmography of our current stars, and they are they are giving this, they are telling their followers that these, not just You Soon or Avesham, he has done other works as well, like that has been happening during the pandemic. I mean, after so pandemic has helped Malayalam cinema in that way. Like Fahad Fasil is a big name. Um, he has not even done a Bollywood film, and even without that, Fahad Fasil is a huge name. And a fair share of credit goes to these influencers or reviewers who are outside in Kerala, who are talking about these films. But at the same time, when they are just picking the great ones, there is this illusion that we are making only great films. We also have our fair share of problematic films.
Right. Even to you, Vishal, because when it comes to Aattam, I just don't want to only mention about Aattam, but again, since it gets grabbed such a big win unexpectedly, because even for the makers, it was like oh, what's this happened? What is happening like that? So even for Aattam also, why I mentioned about all these influencers slash Malayalam movie reviewers right from Kerala, I think to some extent they also help promote this movie in their own way, even by just reviewing. Because last day I was watching one of their some review, which the movie was not much known. There, somebody commented saying, it's because of you we are knowing about such small movies, which are also nice, or even which are not that great also. I remember the Apupan and the boys, Ananda Padmanabhan, him also, and after coming with so much of reviews which we haven't even seen, they're like, oh, it's because of you we are even hearing about the names at least. So somewhere at some point, even after all these attention, there is some grey that is happening to the Malayalam movies when it comes to promotion or knowing outside the state. So I think even the influencers, the reviewers have such a big, part in playing such a, for all these promotions. What do you think, Vishal?
No, I 100% agree. In terms of, I think more than if you take a look at the views that these reviews get, right? Some of the reviews, they get so many views that, of course, people are watching the review as a entertainment in itself. It doesn't really have anything to do with the movie, especially when it's like, as an example, when people watch the reviews of a Dhyan Srinivasan movie and all that, they're probably not even registering the title or the name or the story or anything of the actual movie, but they just want to have fun watching certain reviews because it's almost like watching a roast, right? So that is of course there. But beyond that, when people are watching reviews, when people are kind of taking note of a particular movie, more than if it's good or bad, I think they're somehow making a calculation of whether this is a movie I should watch in the theater or this is a movie I should watch in the OTT. So when you talk about a movie like Aattam, I think everybody's registered that there is a movie like this playing in the theaters and that it's a great movie, but everybody's also consciously taken that decision to watch it when it comes on OTT also. So of course the reviews are contributing to this, but somewhere that calculation is happening and it's constant.
Yeah. If you were or you still are in this field for, let's say, past so many years, over a decade, but in these past few years, again, after 2020, what is one thing that you felt like that is majorly helping Malayalam movies to go out? Apart all these, the kind of promotional ways the movie makers have taken.
100%. I cannot explain this enough, but it's just something as simple as subtitles. That's all. Nothing more than that. Because our movies are not the kind of movies that will translate very well. There is no real money in dubbing it and releasing it in other states, because dubbing generally is considered to be like a B center, C center or crowd. The kind of people that you spend money to dub movies for is the massy crowd. We never had that. We never had Malayalam movies getting dubbed to the quality that it deserved. So dubbing was never a question for Malayalam cinema. So subtitles is what saved Malayalam cinema in that sense. The fact that we have subtitlists like Vivek, Ranjit, people like that who do a good job of subtitling, and the fact that people are willing to watch it. Yeah, you have to realize that the same crowd of people who love Malayalam cinema are people who love Money Heist, German series, and Korean dramas. That's the crowd that we have. It's not the actual mass that can contribute to 1,000 crore Malayalam movie or anything of that sort. It's a niche market that has grown because of subtitling, great subtitling, and that's the difference that we've seen. And of course, you have to thank the internet boom and how it's very easy for anybody to discover any Malayalam cinema easily, and even through piracy, for instance. So it's, in my opinion, it's 100% the subtitling.
Vishal, how do you think how much is these releasing in other languages, multi languages, is helping the movie to go, let's say, national? Because just now you mentioned, Vishal, it's the subtitling for 100%, but also how much, let's say, a movie that is very regional based movie, it's let's put Manoradhangal for instance. I was thinking, when after watching the whole 9 episodes, I was just thinking, okay, one movie Sherlock, fine, it can connect to the other audience as well. But what about movies, other all 8 episodes? How it can connect to the other audience across the other, in other states, when they can't even connect with the content, the subject that is being discussed there? What actually can make them feel like, okay, this series, this anthology series, a big win, or it's must watch?
The question is to me.
Yes.
So the first couple of days, I'll give you an example of another. I can't really think of any Malayalam anthology that has really gone pan India. I don't think that has happened yet. I don't even think there has been a super hit anthology from Malayalam. It's always been the case. There are about 3 or 4 movies that people talk about. The remaining 5 or 6 movies are not well reviewed. That's generally the case with all anthologies. But I'll give you the example of a movie like Manjumal Boys. Okay, I saw Manjumal Boys first day, first show in Chennai, and there were 4 people in the theater. And you have to understand that Manjumal Boys, I think, until last week was the biggest hit in Tamil Nadu overall. Even if you include Tamil movies, Manjumal Boys was the biggest hit in Tamil Nadu. But the first day had only 4 people in the theater. So it's definitely has to do with word of mouth, and the kind of word of mouth where people feel like, okay, this is our movie. It's not just enough that the movie is okay. Then what about 2018? 2018 was an industry hit, right? But it's not a movie that really translated outside the state. Now, somehow people couldn't connect to that particular issue or that particular history of what happened in Kerala. But then with Manjumal Boys, within the week, if you go to a theater in Chennai, there are probably only 10% Malayali audience. It was only Tamil audience, and that has happened only with 3 or 4 Malayalam movies before. So it's very seasonal. It has to be very specific to a particular movie and the state where it works. Because Manjumal Boys didn't work that well even in Karnataka or Maharashtra, right? It was only Tamil Nadu. So it's very movie specific, and the kind of word of mouth that the movie generates, and how fast it kind of goes viral, on social media.
Because I remember Sridhar plays telling it's only through the word of mouth that actually worked, and even it helped many other theaters that actually planning to close, shut down, make a big win for them as well financially. They were literally struggling, and it was just this movie that actually made them stand in the industry or in the business. So that was always there. But Ashwin, to you, because over a period I was thinking, even for you also, even after reviewing, what actually how do you feel when Malayalam movies are taking, let's say, a same kind of subject, same line of graph when it comes to storyline and everything? Because what's next? Have you ever felt like what's next for Malayalam cinema? As in, okay, these many, let's put Gir, or let's say the Little Hearts movie. There is one movie called Little Hearts direct, starred. In the lead role, we have Bharadwaj sir, Shane and all. It was, again, I don't know if it was a very widely spoken movie in Kerala as well, but it's a very regional movies, which is very much subjugated to the state. Let's say, even for that matter, that particular district, how it's beautifully taken and everything. But after a point when the subjects are repetitive, or even, let's say, even the cinematography style is being repetitive, have you ever thought, okay, where is Malayalam movie going, or what's their next step?
See, there is always this exhaustion point for every treatment. Like, if you go on making like indie kind of subjects, there was this thing about realistic films when Shyam Pushkaran and all came, and we had those beautiful films. After a point, people were calling it like Prakriti. We had enough of it. Like so after that then came some subjects that are like balancing both. If you look at a movie like Manumal Boys, it's not completely unrealistic or something, but at the same time it has its element of emotional, the way it plans the idea of God, all these fantasy, I wouldn't say fantasy, the placement of drama is there. So for the audience, every if you try to make something a pattern, after a point they will start to say that okay, now they are doing this only. So after a point you will have, if you look at the success of the movies that were successful, they are not necessarily completely realistic or something. There are creative liberties, all those things. Even Ardji with them, you can see that they are using the visuals to a great extent to convey the drama and all. So that's why people are connecting to it. So it's not like the treat. So, and why Malayalam films worked in that first quarter or something is because the variety the industry was giving to the audience. Like, you have Premalu releasing in February 8th. The next week you have Brahmayugam, and then next week you have Manyamal Boys, and a month later you have Aadu Jeevitham. And after that you have Avesham and Varshangalku Shesham. So there is nothing common between these things, these movies. So, like, if you can keep that variety rather than following, oh, this movie worked, then we will make another version of that, then it won't work with Malayali audience. The audience will call out like they are trying to repeat this. So the RDX was successful. Now they are making an out and out action film because they think that people rooted for RDX simply because of the action. There is an emotion that made RDX a hit. Like the way the guy insults the kid was the trigger point in RDX. That's why everyone, even the people who hates violence on screen, were rooting for the heroes because they couldn't
Correct. Even because
take that
I remember
thing.
Basil telling, that the father in me woke up, so
Yeah,
I couldn't even control myself. Yeah, and just I vanished. All of them, what all I could do, I just did it like that.
yeah.
But then, so even what do you think about when it comes to Malayalam movies? What's the big steps that they have taken. So we have discussed about all this subtitling, releasing it in multi languages. So from a reviewer perspective and from an audience perspective, what you have actually felt personally for the big takes that Malayalam for the Malayalam movies, or the recognition that we are getting in a pan Indian level.
Actually, I was observing something about the lack of OTT support for Malayalam industry. Like, if you look at the Amazon Prime had this Prime Day thing happening a few months ago, and if you look at it, they were like announcing movies from languages like Tamil, Telugu, Hindi, and Kannada. Like movies are in the production. They are like post theatrical release will be in our platform. So that guarantee was there for Bollywood, Tamil industry, Telugu industry. There was no Malayalam movie in that list. If you look at the Prime Day, the announcements they made. So when I asked this to a few people in the industry, now everyone knows that they are not buying our movies pre-release. No contracts are signed or no sale is happening. OTT sale is happening before the release of the movie. Only Avesham happened because I think it was a bundle deal or something with Fahad Fasil's production house. So other than that, even our blockbusters are getting the OTT deal after the theatrical window and the based on the theatrical performance. So that is actually in a way blessing in disguise. Like now the makers have to ensure that it worked really well in the box office, and even the OTT platforms are observing what is happening in the theaters in order to buy these movies, and the rates are kind of fixed based on the box office performance of these movies. So I think that thing has forced Malayalam cinema to rely on content only. They are not looking for the dates or like uh, anything can work. That safety net of OTT is no longer there. So only great content will work now, and in a way that is helping the industry to be this unique among all the other industries. Like other industries might also get the benefit if they don't have the, I mean, might also get better if they don't have the safety net of the digital rights and all.
So even I was thinking, this time I think even for the state award as well, we had many freshers grabbing awards. So slowly, I think even it's a very risky take even for the fresh bees, even the new entries as filmmakers. I think it will be a big challenging time for them as well in the future, because every time, every month, when new releases comes in, people are coming up with completely different thoughts, technically, be it technically, story wise, everything. So what do you think, if even for the new filmmakers that's coming in the industry, what do you think, what do you want to say them, because both of you are watching the movies, Malayalam movies especially, closely for over a decade now. So I think you both can answer. I think we'll start with Vishal.
Yeah, so that's the thing. I mean, like Ashwin was talking about, movie like Brahma Yugam, right? But that is, of course, the success of Brahma Yugam is one thing. But even if you talk about a movie like Gaganachari, imagine like imagine in a movie culture where you can make a super hit movie in the format of a mockumentary. If you talk about any other industry, and it's not even a concept, it's not even a movie concept that you can explain to people in other states, like in other languages. I remember there was an English Hindi movie called The President is Coming or something. It came out in 2007, 2008. It was the same mockumentary format, but I think it got a release in 6 theaters or 7 theaters across India. So that is the state at which those kind of films get a release outside Kerala. But a movie like a trippy post, I mean, when I'm explaining the story of Gaganachari to non-Malayalis, they think I'm making it up. They're not able to believe that a movie like a post-apocalyptic mockumentary can become a super hit in a state like Kerala. So that's there is an audience for that. Even if you talk about like Tallumala, I think Tallumala is now 2 years old, I guess, right? Tallumala.
Yeah.
So concept movies like Tallumala, it's like people are watching it like, okay, this is something else. We haven't seen anything like this. This is completely new. Let's give it a shot and experience it. Like, let's have fun. It's got enough entertainment for people to have fun when it comes to the theater. But even if we don't get it the first time, let's just give it a shot. So it's a damn good time to be a filmmaker in Malayalam.
That's
Like,
where
you
I'm very
can't
proud of
come
the
up with
Malayali audience
excuses.
as well, Vishal, because there when Gaganachari came out, I was like, okay, now people are actually thinking, people are actually ready to watch it, discuss it. I'm not just talking about the people of current generation. No, people even in the 40s, 50s, they are like, something of this sort comes in here. But what's this? Something very new. So
Yeah.
people are also watching that movie even after watching, let's say, all the promotional interviews. People are very much ready to watch it with a fresh mind, with a plain
Yeah.
slate. That is where I
Yeah.
also realized, okay, people are changing, the views, the thoughts are changing, which is very something that gives us such a happiness. It's not like always, it's
Yeah.
not conventional. People are moving, evolving over the time. So that was also there, Vishal. Such a happy thought from our audience side. Again, before wrapping it up, let me ask both of you, what's your feeling after all this? What's your hopes for the next, in the coming Malayalam movies? Even let's say 2024 big releases are coming. I was just telling Aswin before, like at least 4 movies of Basil are coming in this month, only in this month, and that man is doing something big all the time, not even getting a time to talk or discuss about anything. So what's your take on the upcoming movies? What do you actually feel about the upcoming movies? Because we know, as we all discuss, we know where the Malayalam movie is been taking their route and everything. So what's your take on that? And with that, we will wind up.
Yeah.
You can start, Ashwin. I think you can answer it, Ashwin.
Okay. Well, we have some interesting movies lined up for Onam. I think Tovino's ARM is there. It's in 3D. He's doing triple role, and it's been in the production for a really long time, like for VFX and 3D thing. So I think that's one movie I'm really excited about. I think, and then I don't know whether Jayasurya's film. Kattanar
Kathanar.
would release this year or not. But that is also a huge
Film you're
step.
talking about, no?
No. Kattanar. Jasuria has not been doing any films for a long time, right? We have not seen him.
This is
Yeah, he
on
has
its
been
way, it
doing.
seems. That's what even the
Yeah,
production house
Kattanar is.
have announced. A big
Yeah,
announcement after a year.
yeah. So, Kattanar is one film I'm excited about. Then I mean, in terms of trying something different or expecting something different, and these two movies are actually kind of a litmus test because uh, I think it's the first time we are also trying the pan India thing in a very prepared way. um, Adu and all were, kind of dubbed and released in other states and all those stuff. But I think ARM and Katanar had the design of, from the pre-production stage itself, they had the plan to release in multiple languages and all. So in a way, that is also happening. And I think Empuran won't be releasing this year, so that's not there. Yeah, in terms of the expectations, these two movies are the ones. And with Malayalam cinema, you just can't say about the expectations because it will be the smaller ones that will spring a surprise.
Like Aattam.
Right now, Nunakuri and Vara are doing great at the box office, and nobody was expecting it to do this well. I mean, we were like, it will be a feel-good, normal film kind of thing, but extra shows are being added right now, so it's the smaller ones that can surprise. So there are a lot of
So,
like Basil's movies are there.
Basil, I think this month already one Nunakuri released, and then other 3 are releasing.
In Vara, he is doing a cameo.
Sukshma Darshini, I don't know, but when is that releasing this month? No, no.
No, that just completed shoot. I think it's not releasing anytime soon.
That is there. Then again, not just Basil's movie, many other are coming daily. Like we will be seeing some or the other. So even Vishal, to you also, what do you what do you actually feel when you see all this, and where do you see all the upcoming movies are flying to?
And Vara are doing well. It's very heartening to hear because
Vishal, can you repeat that again, please?
Yeah.
Your
So,
audio.
generally, can you hear now?
Yeah.
Yeah. So generally, especially after May, after the summer vacations, it's quite common to have to see a lull in the Malayalam cinema, and the programming also is like that. Generally, if you look at the movies that releases in June and July, there won't be any high profile films. There won't be any films with a lot of money riding on it, a lot of expectations. So generally, these 2 months are lean almost every year. And it's good to see that it's back because it's a proper 4-day weekend, right? Like, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's like a big weekend. There are big movies in, I think, every industry. So it's good that the two Malayalam movies are doing well. To see if that streak is continuing, I think we'll only be able to understand after the Onam releases. I think, like he said, I think Tovino's movie, the 3D movie, is going to release, I think, next month. Then there's going to be Mamuka's Bazooka. Then there's going to be Baros. Baros, I think, is going to be an October release, if I'm not wrong. So I think there are those big movies lined up for the second half, like those. I mean, apart from Aadu Jeevitham, everything else was pretty much a surprise, right, in the first half of the year. So all the big movies are slotted for the second half, and I think those are the proper mass movies also that's going to come up. So I think still an exciting 6 months left. 4 or 5 months left in the year, and I think we'll have a chat maybe after that. Yeah.
Right. So I think that was a very insightful interaction with both of you. It was a great time having you both of us with us on live. Thank you so much, Vishal and Aswin, to come online with us with Inter Today SoSouth, despite your tight schedule. So hoping to watch you both on screen more time, with your reviews, Lensman. I think people are like waiting for your reviews every now and then. It's like when you have put up the review, they'll be like, okay, Lensman said this actually. Think this might be like this. So there's a huge responsibility and expectation at the same time from your side. So hoping to come more. And Vishal, what's on your end? What's on your way with that?
I didn't hear the last part.
What's on your way? Like Ashwin's, it's almost sorted. He's like busy with reviews, back-to-back reviewing, meeting people, discussing. It's just tight schedule Ashwin has. But what's up with you? How have you been?
No, I've been taking some time off to read Ashwin's reviews. I'm going back and reading all his old reviews and learning a lot about cinema from him.
Good.
See, I told no. Ashwin, even again, Vishal said the same. Vishal supported me, backed me, and I'm not lying at all. Anyway, thank you so much, both of you, Vishal and Ashwin. It was a great time catching up with both of you. Thank you so much.
Yes, thanks so much. Thanks so much, Meera. Thanks. Yeah, thanks. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Ashwin.
Bye.
So that was Vishal the entertainment journalist, and Ashwin with us, popularly known as Lensman, I just mentioned before, talking about why Malayalam movies are getting a pan-Indian acceptance or a recognition all of a sudden post-COVID. I think that was a very insightful discussion with both of them. Had a great time. And this is Meera Nair signing off from India Today SoSouth.